Hey guys, Ender from Tier 1 here. The Battlefield 5 reveal has taken place. The cat is out of the bag and there is a lot to talk about. But before we get started, I want to let you know that this video is presented by EA Game Changers. So there are a few things I'm going to touch on here. It's going to be kind of dubbed physical and kinetic features, the team play aspects, and the gunplay mechanics. And then I'll tie it all in to how I think that competitive is going to go for us here in the future. One of the things we're going to look at today is the physical and kinetic features, as DICE is calling it. This is the world around you. These are the kind of mechanics, animations, the immersion, the realism, all that type of stuff, whatever you want to call it for the game. One of these features is going to be the character animation, and it primarily pertains to third-person view. So if you're spectating or you're looking down the scope of a sniper rifle and you see a character, you see him run through water, he's going to pick his legs up as he runs through the water. You just have to see the animation to know exactly what I'm talking about. But, you know, they're in the grass, and as the soldier's moving through the grass is going to part around him, it's going to move around him, and which, you know, will kind of help you identify also motion if you're like me and you're kind of looking around the battlefield at, you know, what catches your eye as far as movement goes. The next thing is kind of your player interaction from your first-person view perspective. So, in previous Battlefield titles, all of them that I can actually think of, you would run near a ammo box, you would run near a health kit, and you would just get your ammo back magically by standing by it, or your health back magically. This is changing in Battlefield 5. You actually have to go up to the item, interact with the item, and your character will go through a whole animation of applying that item. So, yeah, but, you know, gone are the days that you're going to just slide over a health kit and stuff. So that adds to the immersion as well. And lastly, as far as these animations go, as far as we know right now, are the sort of the teammate interactions. I don't know if you're going to have the grab health, grab ammo like you had in Battlefield Hardline, if you guys remember that. But I do know this, and this is probably my favorite thing that they mentioned as far as, you know, interaction, is that if your teammate goes down, you can grab him and you can drag him to cover for you or you know, whoever your medic is in your squad or on your team, to go ahead and patch him up and get him going again. But just the fact that you can drag people into cover is pretty amazing to me. And lastly, in this category, I want to talk about fortifications. So this is new. If you've ever played Squad or seen Squad, you know what I'm talking about. Fortifications are coming to Battlefield 5. That means you blow walls out of a house, or an enemy does, an enemy tank, and you need to patch it back up because you've got no cover. Well, now you can do that. You can rebuild, you can put sandbags down, tank barricades, foxholes, trenches, all sorts of stuff, and I haven't seen how any of that works for the most part. I think it was just kind of lightly touched on, more or less. Now, moving on to team play aspects and how you should expect to play Battlefield 5. One major thing you're probably going to notice right off the get-go is you're going to have less ammunition at spawn. You're not going to start out with nearly as much as you did in Battlefield 1. How that compares to 4 or Hardline or 3, I don't know. And subsequently, when you get injured on the battlefield, right now as it sits, you're playing normal mode, you kind of just sit in a corner or in a hole on the ground and wait for your health to come back up. That's not going to happen anymore. You won't get your health back until you find a medic or a medic finds you. Now, as far as resupplying, overall they keep drilling on scarcity, and that means that you're not going to find ammo as abundant as you used to. So one of the ways to offset this is to add a certain element for when your team captures a flag. There will be an ammo box station that you build, from how I understand it, and that is where you're going to get your ammo from, or a support class. But I don't believe that ammo is going to be laying around, or health kits like you've seen in previous Battlefield titles. One very interesting feature that kind of took me back when I heard it was the fact that anybody in your squad, only in your squad, can revive another member of that squad when they're down. I was like, I don't know about this, but it's okay. Here's why. Medics are still relevant, and here's how they differ is you may be able to revive somebody as a support class in your squad, but it's going to take a lot longer than it would for a medic, and they are not going to revive at full health. So this is going to make medics still just as valuable as they were before, pending any kind of mechanic changes that DICE might have for that. I mean, it could go either way, but as long as they do it right, it'll work fine. So with these things, you're going to see kind of a loop in action. You're not going to have just 120 mile an hour balls to the wall just firefights. You will have those, but you're going to have a time to, as they call it, looping, where you're going to need to recover, grab ammo, grab health, build fortifications, and have some downtime before you get back in the action and prep phase per se. Now, as far as the squad goes and teamwork and all that stuff, it's going to be slightly different here. You're not going to have your big giant team-based behemoths anymore. They are squad-based upgrades, I guess you would call them, or basically what it is, your squad pushes objectives, they accumulate points, and you use these points like a currency to then get reinforcements. Now, they are reinforcements specific to your squad, and you need to work as a squad to get enough points to buy them. There are several different reinforcement types. One are call-in reinforcements, which are like the V1, the JB2 rockets. You'll see it there in the trailer if you haven't watched the trailer yet. There's a supply drop, there's a smoke screen barrage, a heavy weapon battle pickup, which doesn't change your class like it does in BF1. You're not in elite class, you're still your soldier with a crazy awesome gun or rocket launcher or something like that. And lastly, you're going to have hero vehicles. Those are similar to baby behemoths, and those are, I guess they're going to change with the live service update, or they could potentially change with the live service update. Again, not a lot of info on that, but we'll see how that pans out. And with all these things considered, squad leaders are going to play a larger role than before. So last but not least, probably the thing we all care about the most in Battlefield titles is the gunplay mechanics. And I am happy to tell you that it is going, from what it sounds, totally skill-based, no random bullet deviation. Some weapons are going to be easier to use, some are going to be harder, some are going to have trade-offs. You know, they pack more of a punch, but they're harder to use, and you've got to really get to know your gun. With that, you're going to have the archetypes, you're going to have the progression trees, which are going to offset some of the, you know, the cons and add to your pros for your different weapons. But in the end, you need to know how that weapon operates. And according to DICE, apparently suppression is up in the air. They don't know what they're going to do with it yet. We obviously don't know if they don't know. So we'll see what suppression does in Battlefield 5, or if it even makes it in there, or how it makes it in there. I don't know. So, given everything I've said in the last few minutes, and I know it was real fast, it was real kind of basic detail, high-level stuff, but considering all those things that I just put in front of you there, it excites me because we have a new element coming into play here with the progression system and the subclasses, archetypes, stuff like that, that you probably heard about well before watching this video, and I won't get into it here. But with all those things considered, with all the things that I just told you about, it all kind of boils down to this game is going to be much more about teamwork, and that's going to translate directly over to the competitive scene. You know, teams are going to have to go ahead and start figuring out who's going to run what archetype, you know, what progression tree they're going to take, and how they're going to leverage that against the team that they're, you know, about to play. And it adds another dynamic, and it makes teams think more and work as a team. And you know, that's what it's about, and I think it's going to be a good thing. Anyways, guys, that pretty much wraps it up for now. I talked about the few things that kind of stuck out to me, competitively speaking, and what I think it's going to mean for us in the future. But if you guys like the video, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And thank you for watching. I don't do this really ever. It's usually all live stream stuff. So forgive me for any errors in advance. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Ender Tier 1. Catch you on the battlefield.